multidimensional forms that interplay as one hologram of life, as a symphony of life, how are we going to understand it in relation to ourselves and decode it? You know. So it's been a wonderful experience for me to go through the process of actually learning it myself, because I wanted to teach myself the truth. And if the truth is in me and is me, and I have been deluding myself through all history, now's my only time that I can correct the error of my mind and express through my own anatomy, become, I suppose, a teacher of myself in time and space by the grace that flows through me, and to be very diligent to learn what I want to learn through what I teach. And so that became something very, very good for me to do. And you all can do it, because you've been teaching yourself everything anyway. Everything that's happening to you now anyway, you're doing it to yourself now, right? So everything you're experiencing now, you're a master. You're very masterful at creating the experiences that are occurring in your life, but you might not necessarily want the experiences that you are creating unwittingly. You know, like the information that's stored down on the archives of your computer of holographic form, you're unaware of what you're unconsciously projecting into the fields. You're unconsciously projecting into the fields those things that come back as your experience, and you're saying, hey, I don't want that, you see. And you're saying, I don't want that. Well, why is this coming to me? And I didn't ask for that. Well, you did. On some level within the archiving of your anatomy, you do want that as a valued thing that you've stored down in your archives, that you are continually seeding into the field of your awareness, unconsciously. And so you can consciously renew the templates of your hologram by downloading the original mind and structure of your Christed self. Your beautiful radiant self can come and reintegrate the active circuitry, you know, of your multi-dimensional anatomy. You can overwrite the corruption in the holographic form of your projector or your eminence. What you're going to radiate out into the field, you can change that through deliberate intention and knowledge of how to do it. And of course, yeah, you can system restore. You can reboot the computer. You don't put it on default, because you are the programmer of your computer. You are the programmer of your own computation. You're not going to set it on default and have to start the programming again. You've already programmed the error that's in your computer. You're simply going to go to every point in space and time simultaneously and choose again. Yeah, and walk the Christed way. Where there was error in your computation or your action or thought at any given moment in space and time, through all vector lines, through all event horizons, and every space-time continuum where you simultaneously exist in this very instant, you can go right now through the unified field, pop up in the time bands of experience, and right now in the time bands of your many, many experiences through space and time, you can correct your mind. Instantaneously, it can be done, but it's a matter of knowing the technology, knowing how to do it, and seeing the structure of the cosmic form through which you travel simultaneously. In actual fact, it's great. When I first started, you might say, receiving downloads of information, I grew a beard, you know, like a long beard right down to my navel, sort of thing. And it came as one of those things that you knew you had to do. Like a guy at work said to me, Grant, why don't you grow one of those big beards like Abraham, like Moses, whatever, you look like, you're carrying that sort of energy or something. And I said, oh, don't be silly, Then I'm walking along the street and there's a guy with a massive beard, and I hear the inner voice say, grow a beard like that, all right? So it was like, I decided, yeah, I'll listen to this, because I had 3 or 4 witnesses all around me saying, do it, So I grew this beautiful big long beard right down here. And at that time I was going to a church, trying to, emanate and radiate some light into the church. And I became very, very unpopular in the church because of my beard. It became so long and unkept, and yet I decided to keep listening to the voice and do it. And over about, I suppose, a year or two or something of growing the beard, it became very, very long. And I found myself travelling at night through space and time into other, I suppose, I don't know whether it's incarnational self-memories of the mind of separation that we have here, but I found myself travelling into many, many space-times and teaching and preaching a message in other space-time continuums back 3, 4, 5,000 years ago, and other times as well. And so there I went back telling myself, or those who could hear me at that time, what I've learned now. So the revelation and energy that I'm carrying now, I was in my dream state travelling back to other time continuums or other space-time locations and acting a different role. I was speaking a different message. And it was almost like at the time when I was back there 3,500 years ago, I was preaching the wrong message, and I was maybe seeding dissension among the ranks and files of the people. Maybe I was causing greater corruption in the world. I'm not too sure exactly what I was doing back there, but all I know is I went back there and I could see multitudes of people listening to what I was saying. And I think what happened at that time was I went back and changed the probabilities. I changed the probabilities of the evolving consciousness upon the face of the earth in the reincarnational cycles that appear to be here in our mind of separation. And I went back, and everyone that I influenced at that time with a new word and a new frequency and a new teaching, they would have carried that energy at that time to create changes now that can very quickly be our present moment. So, as you know, you project from the past record of your mind, you project into the future through projection. You project a future. This is in the linear time cycle. And right here in this present moment, you are living the projection of your future. So this nanosecond is yesterday's nanosecond projected into the future, which I'm experiencing right now. And so if I was able to change the record in the past and it was projected into the future, right now we could have a different now moment because of the change of mind that took place as space-time continues on vector lines and event horizons in a distant time, apparently. So this is something that I've been practicing on a multi-dimensional level, intentionally going instantaneously to all of my moments of now that simultaneously coexist in many different frequency bands and space-time locations throughout the cosmos. And I say to myself, I'm going there to correct the error in my mind, not just the mind that I know as Grant Barlow in this space-time continuum, living in Melbourne, Australia, not just my childhood that was programmed in New Zealand. I was born in 1951, and I've had a lot of influence from this world. I'm not just changing the records in my biological computer concerning this part of myself in this space-time continuum. I'm actually going back to all space-time records and instantaneously desiring to enter into those moments when I can choose again. Because I know that the mind is a marvellous thing. It's constantly joined to itself. The mind communicates. I mean, all minds are communicating all the time. What they're communicating is another issue. I mean, we're communicating information that's not from the true source. We're communicating illusory concepts, and we've conceived in the womb of our mind many energy forms and thoughts and concepts, and we outpicture these constantly as a world we know of confusion and delusion, decay and depravity. We see it everywhere, and we're doing it to ourselves. And so if we're constantly projecting out thoughts of delusion that we share in a mind of separation, the only solution to it would be to get the right mind. And the right mind of the many parts of ourselves are scattered through space and time. And, for us to have stepped down into this density as, say, one entity reality, which I would call my individuated self, Grant Barlow, for me to have stepped down from God's source into this density one, I cannot carry the energy of God's source as one single entity. I